Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Spanish department. My name is Antonio. I'm the Spanish teacher. Next to me is Mrs. Gutierrez, the other Spanish teacher, and one of our brilliant students, Josh Tingley. Say hello, everyone. Welcome to the Spanish department.
Hola, buenas tardes a todos. Hello, everyone. I'm
Buenas tardes.
Ms. Gutierrez, and then now Señora Gutierrez, and then I give a good welcome to everybody to our talk for today. Yeah, and then Josh will present himself later on. Okay.
Yeah, let me just tell you how it's going to work. I'm going to make a brief presentation for at least 20 minutes, and after those 20 minutes, you'll be free. We'll be answering your questions that you will have been posting in the chat, and we'll be very happy to answer all your questions. Okay, so there we go. So why learning Spanish? Well, Spanish is a language spoken by almost 500 million Spanish speakers across the world. 87 million Spanish speakers have it as a second language. It's spoken in a large segment of Latin America, and it can open doors for anything you want to do. It can open your doors to a lot of countries, a lot of experiences, a lot of cultures. So Spanish is a door into a wide world, a wide speaking world in Latin America. So what do we teach? What do we do in Spanish, in the Spanish department? Some of the topics are really interesting. You really get a glimpse of the Spanish society and Spanish culture. We learn aspects of the Spanish society like civil space, things in the family. We learn artistic world, artistic culture in the Spanish world. We learn about modern day idols, the Spanish regional identity. Spanish is a mosaic of cultures, of Catalonia, Basque country, Galicia, is a mosaic of food, of gastronomy mosaic, is a mosaic of different landscapes and different places, is a mosaic of architecture. It's very rich. And in year two, we go more into aspects of political life in Spain. We talk about political issues and relationship with youth, monarchies, popular movements, immigration and racism. And some of the topics that we deal with. Very, very interesting, and you get a really good glimpse into Spanish politics and society. We also study literary text, Requiem for a Spanish Peasant, Requiem por un Campesino Español. And you will also have an in-depth independent research project. You have to choose your own project, and this project will be used in your oral exam. This is a book that we are really enjoying. We're starting now in the first weeks of teaching it now. It gives a glimpse into Spanish history because it is very much related to a very relevant period of Spanish history, which is the Spanish Civil War. So it's a very good complement that fits very well with some of the topics we are doing, like monarchies and dictatorships and Spanish society and culture. So yeah, I can tell the students are enjoying that. So yes, Spain is a very diverse country, and in this department, as you can see in these pictures, offers a glimpse into a large segment of the Hispanic world. We talk about monuments in Spain, monuments in artistic heritage in Spain and in Latin America, gastronomy, food. As you can see, the Transición Española, politics, Spanish politics, Latin American dictators, Spanish and Hispanic artists, singers, artists. So you really get a really in-depth view perspective on the Spanish and Hispanic culture. What would you learn with us? What skills would you gain? Well, one of them is independent learning. There's a lot of emphasis in this department in helping you and encouraging you to do your own research about the topics we are learning. Go to Google, books, press, radio, television, press, to look for your own independent information, the one that you look for independently. This is in preparation for university, because in university you will need to have these skills very much developed. We practice memory skills, organization skills. We help you organize your time, organize your file, which is very important given the amount of work that year one and year two require. in A levels. You also learn new linguistic skills, more fluency and more confidence in speaking, more confidence in writing. You will practice lots of text, essays, summaries, and you also develop a lot of confidence in reading because you will read a lot of text. You will practice lots of reading in the class, and we help you get the gist of them and all the synonyms and all the vocabulary that you can get. We help extract all the richness from the text. So what do we do in the lessons? The lessons are very interactive. We do lots of group activities, lots of speaking, lots of pair work, lots of presentations, lots of exam practice as well. And with this new COVID timetable and the new arrangements of in the classrooms, it has changed a bit, but we as teachers try to keep on that spirit of interactivity, of group activities. We have adapted our activities to pair work or to smaller groups, but still, we try to do it very, very interactive, and where you really exercise the language and speaking, and you really get practice. And now we're going to show you a video of what we do in our class activities. Well, that was a nice video. And as you can see, lots of people standing up and doing things and doing lots of activities. So we have a real fun in the class. Good, let's move on. In our department, in Spanish, especially in Spanish, we also give a lot of support. We have excellent resources in the library shelves to help you practice your Spanish. We have a language resource room where you have lots of resources to magazines and books to help you take your Spanish further. We have a SharePoint site where you have lots of resources, online resources for audio, films, press, grammar activities, lots of resources where you can take your Spanish further again. And you get extra help with reading language support workshops, what we call surgeries, for those who are struggling a bit with the grammar or with the topic. We just give them extra support. We just spend some time just clarifying questions, responding to doubts, and doing some practice to reinforce those tricky aspects of language. We also have extension lessons carried out by Mrs. Rodriguez. And extension lessons, you learn literature, you learn Spanish poetry, for those who have an extra interest in Spanish, so you can take it further. Okay? And we also have conversation lessons with a foreign language assistant. Okay? So students have a week, 1 hour, half an hour compulsory conversation lesson with a foreign language assistant, where they go through extensively through some of the oral conversation cards. They practice, they get lots of practice, they get a lot of help and a lot of confidence, which is very important. To develop confidence is very important in A levels. So what does the exam consist? That's a very good, important point. Okay, the Spanish A level consists in 3 blocks: paper 1, paper 2, and paper 3. Paper 1 is the listening, reading, and writing. Paper 2 is the writing, and paper 3 is the speaking. In paper 1, you do lots of exercises when you listen to a text and you have to answer some questions. In paper 2, you have to choose critical essays on one of the films that we do, which is Volver, and a critical essay on the book, which is Requiem. Okay, you have a choice of 2 questions. And in paper 3 speaking, you are presented with a card, and you have to develop a conversation, a stimulus with a stimulus card, and the presentation and discussion of your independent research project that I have mentioned before. So in total it's 50%, 20%, and 30%, that's the total mark. Okay? So that's pretty much is the Spanish A level format. And now The events, the Spanish is a very active department. There's lots of events. In autumn term 2019, the students in the department raised money for Medicines Sans Frontières. Also, we have had talks by Alexander Sampson from the from the department of the University of Cambridge, talking about Spanish and Garcilaso, which is a Spanish poet. In February 2020, our 6 students took part in the regional debating competition. We won the debate in 2019. Okay, we hope to win it again in 2021, if it's held. In March 2020, 23 students participated in the Santander Exchange, and it was a lovely experience, great opportunity for our students to live with a Spanish family, share the food, share the culture, share the language, and it was great. We really have a very good time. And now there's another video of our events.
Cuando duerma con la soledad, cuando se me cierren las salidas y la noche no me deje en paz.
Wow, so many good memories. I was seeing all these pictures. We had such a good time there. It was fantastic. Wow, so let's move on then. As regards the exchange with Santander, that's La Albericia High School in Spain, we're speaking with our partner school to see if we can develop something like an individual exchange partnership with them in this year, given the current situation of COVID. A complete exchange like we did in March is not when it seems possible at the moment. So we're seeing if it's possible to do a sort of individual exchange in which students will be paired up with each other and making a regular commitment to talk to each other and to see each other. So, and travel sometime to Spain. So we'll see what happens. Let's cross fingers that this happens, because it would be nice to continue this tradition in a different format. And this during this time of exceptional times that we are living. We try to continue with our normal lives as much as possible. Right, so this is a very good department because our student performance is good. We have 79% of A stars and B, whereas the national average is 65%. So we are quite above average in that respect. This speaks very well of the department, of the hard work we do here to help our students get the best grades. We have 99% of A stars and E plus grades, a la par with national pass grades. So yeah, me and Dolores work hard to give all the students needs to help every year keep this standard so high. So that's good. So after year 2, what's life like after year 2? Student destinations. 96% of our students go into higher education, 2% go into employment, and 2% go into further education. And the courses taken at the university, look at the variety. You can take Spanish and Portuguese, Latin American, German and Spanish, modern languages, modern European studies, languages and culture and international relations, even politics, economics, history, and even marine biology. We have some students doing marine biology. As I said before, Spanish can take you many places, and speaking another language can really open up a lot of possibilities of communication in a wide range of fields. Okay, so that's good. So now it's time to introduce our year 13 students, and they're going to tell about their experience at Hills. And here is Josh Tingley. Hello, Josh.
Hey, my name's Josh. I'm a year 13 student at Hills Road. I'm currently taking Spanish psychology and philosophy. And the first thing I'd like to say is just that Spanish is one of those subjects that can complement absolutely any combination of subject choices. I was really surprised by how far Spanish has taken me. I'm currently looking to go up north to study Spanish and Chinese at university, and having taken Spanish at A-level, there seems to be no short supply of places to go or things to be able to do. One thing I would say is that I've always absolutely loved languages, but I've never necessarily known that I would be going on to do them as a career or at university. And the opportunity of being able to do it at A-level has just drawn me closer and closer back to my passion for communication and exploring different cultures. As part of this, A-level Spanish at Hills Road has offered me a variety of opportunities. I'm currently part of the extension class where we're looking at different poets, different pieces of literature, different pieces of art. And that's really just given me the opportunity to go further and deeper into my love of just understanding the culture and getting a chance to explore.
Wow, thank you, Josh. That was brilliant. Thank you very much.
Okay. And then now we have time for question and answer. And Señora Gutiérrez, I'm the teacher in charge of Spanish, and I will very pleased to answer your questions. Let's see some of them. I see Isabel Emily, who's making very good questions. Would you say that after the 2-year course, a motivated student could come out fluent? Yes. We see the progress in all the skills, fluent not only in speaking, but in writing, in expressing the ideas by summarizing passages. They are very much fluent, and we see a lot of progress. By the end of the year, the students became very much fluent, and also the exchange boost also the fluency, our conversation lessons, and then in the lessons we practice normally all the skills from speaking to reading, listening. Yes, definitely. Yes, with modesty we say they became much fluent. In terms of the Sandboard, we are using EQA for a long time. Since the previous specs and now as well, we're very happy with EQA, the way they run all the resources and the way they do the exams, and we're really happy with EQA. Charlotte asked us what grades are needed. Yes, we have grade 6 with the current specs. Equivalence is B in the previous specs, but 6 is the minimum grade. Yeah, good. More questions. Isabel, another good question. What are the expectations for next year regarding the pandemic? I wish I know, but regarding Spanish, if the pandemic evolves a bit better and everything gets much better and all the restrictions will be lifted, we're hoping to run the exchange to Santander again. It's my place, and we will be pleased to take the students there again, hopefully. So as Senor Antonio said, we now aim to do one experience online, aiming to do an individual exchange, hopefully next year, when the students can go to visit Santander and they can receive some Spanish students here, but we'll see what happens. More questions. What is the average class size? Good question. Yes, we have a range between 18 and 22 students, more or less in year 1 and in year 2. And now, as the A-level is a 2-year course, we keep the numbers quite high in year 2, so around 18 to 20 students. Any more questions, please? More questions for Josh or for Senor Antonio to answer as well. Thank you, Isabel, for your lovely questions. No more questions, please? This very good question from Isaac. As Josh is going to answer it, how much Spanish do we study a week? Yes.
So the thing about the amount of Spanish that we study in a week is it really does vary. We normally look at 2 topics almost at the same time. So, for example, at the minute, I'm studying a book in the first half of my classes, and I'm also studying immigration and the impact of that in the other half of the class. I'd say in terms of hours, it's recommended to do between 6 and 8 hours of homework a week. But Spanish is one of those subjects where you get out exactly what you put in. So you'll be given the resources, 2-hour classes twice a week. You'll be given the resources to experiment, explore, and discuss in those parts of the Spanish course. And at home, it really is up to you how much you get out of it. There's no limit as to how much you can do, but 6 to 8 hours is about the benchmark.
Good, excellent, and completely agree with you, Josh. What you say, perfect. You get what all the hours you put, you see the progress. So definitely. Imogen, I have one question. How many students do Spanish at Hills each year? We have around an intake of 60 students each year, and totally between year 1 and year 2, we have around between 110 and 120 students per year. And then Señor Antonio can answer Charlotte Connolly.
Dolores, I'm having problems to see the questions. Can you pass me the question and I will be happy?
Okay, well, don't you worry. I can carry on, no problem at all. Charlotte Connolly asked Charlotte, ask us how long are lessons? Lessons now are a bit different because now with the situation we have, at the minute we have 2-hour lessons, but normally the lessons in a normal circumstances without the pandemic, we have 1 hour and 10 minutes lessons, but at the minute we have 2 hours online lessons. The week the year 1 students are online and 2 hours in Hills Road. The week the year 1 students are in Hills Road. We have 2 alternative weeks, week 1 and week 2. Yeah?
Dolores, I have it now with me, okay? So I can see it now.
Sorry. Okay, and then Georgia, varies for yours. Okay. What would you say you spend more time on Spanish workout? This is for Josh. What would you say you spend more time on Spanish homework per week than other subjects, or is it the same? So Josh, you are the best one to answer.
I also take philosophy, which I would say is pretty even with Spanish in terms of the reading and the homework that you're expected to do. And I would say out of choice, I probably end up studying more Spanish in my own time than I do any of my other subjects. But again, that is my own choice. And it's because I want to learn more, discover more, and I have things like questions that I'd like to have answered. So it is about the same across all your subjects, but in Spanish, it's normally recommended that you do just a little bit more.
Oh, thank you so much. Señor Antonio, can you do Isabel, Emily question?
Yeah. What does a typical lesson include? Well, it depends on the topic, but for instance, a typical lesson in the class of immigration, for instance, would include doing a reading, getting the synonyms, getting the work, practicing a lot of vocabulary and new words, and doing a speaking out of that reading, and also in terms of the book that we're doing. Going through the most important vocabulary of the book, of the pages, analyzing the most important fragments, helping students understand what the book is about, and doing lots of pair work, lots of group work with students, exchange information, talk to each other. So yeah, that's pretty much what we do in what goes on in a lesson.
Okay. Well, we have another question, very good one, from Amelia. Are our grades only based on final tests, or is there coursework also? Oh, no, we don't have coursework. We never did for a long time, so there is no coursework. As Señor Antonio has shown on the presentation, we have 5 hours total exam in Spanish. We have 2-hour exam for the paper 2, that is the writing, 2.5 hours for paper 1, that is reading, listening, and writing, and around 23 minutes for the speaking exam, so around 5 hours of exam for the A-levels in Spanish, but no coursework, no, for a long time. More questions? Any more questions? They're very good, sensible questions. Oh, do you speak only Spanish during lessons? Elizabeth, very good question. Well, sometimes it's difficult because at the beginning with grammar or some points to clarify when we are doing the literature, we do some speaking in English, but not that much. Josh can answer this for us as well. What is your experience, George?
So Spanish is taught by the teachers primarily in Spanish, which at first can be a little bit daunting, but it ends up being a really, really great thing because it just means the environment is completely immersive. But if, for example, I have a question where I really need to speak English to a teacher to fully understand what's being said, I'm more than welcome to do so. Teachers will push you to speak Spanish in the lessons, but if you need help in English, they're more than happy and capable to do that.
Muchas gracias, George. Muchas gracias. No more questions. ¿Más preguntas por ahí? No more questions? No, they've been very good questions. Really impressed. Very, very good questions. Very sensible. So, no more questions then?
Maybe, Josh, in the meantime, while we wait for some questions, you can explain what's your experience of reading the book, Requiem for the Spanish Peasants.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point. One of the best bits about the course for me is being able to look at things that are realistic to Spanish culture. One thing I felt when I was doing GCSE is that we studied a lot of stuff, but it didn't necessarily feel authentic or like I was experiencing Spain as it really is. And that's sort of been the beauty for me about being able to study a Spanish book at A-level. My experience of it was personally that at first it was really, really difficult and also quite scary, to be honest. But the more you read and the more you have it explained to you, the more this world sort of opens up for you in front of your eyes. You obviously begin understanding more, and as you understand more, you begin to appreciate the work as it is. So I went from not really fully understanding the book to really, really enjoying it and really getting into depth with the different features of the language and the metaphors and things. It's been a great experience.
Thank you, Josh. Fantastic.
Very much.
Very good.
More questions.
More questions.
Yes, let's go for the Isaac. Isaac Bonani. Good question, Isaac. Do we also have exams in the first year? Yes, we have some assessment during the year, but around May, you have some study leave. And then when you come from the study leave, you do some mocks in all the subjects here in college. So you will have a mock in Spanish, including all the different skills. So you will have a mock for speaking, a mock for paper 1 for reading, listening and writing. And also we have an essay writing from the film Volver that we study in year 1. Yes, so this plus all the progress you made, plus all the marks we have here for all the assessments will help us towards see in which point you are and predicted you a grade in Spanish and for all the subjects as well around college. What level, Isabel, Emily, another very good question. What level of language ability is expected for students at the start of the course? We have the students from different backgrounds from when they come here at GCSE, but with the minimum grade of 6, the ability now is quite competent, it's quite good ability to start making the transition from from GCSE to year 1. We do a transition time in college. We revise a bit the grammar for the GCSE, and then we start introducing new grammar. And now the ability is much higher. I noticed that from the previous specs before, because also the GCSE changes in the exams has impacted or have impacted a lot in the GCSE students, in the level of the language they have. You are much more prepared than before, I have to say. Yeah. Another guest 34 question, very good question. Being an international student, what do I have to do to join? Just, it depends if you are a native speaker. Normally, the way of entry here is to have a grade, a GCSE, grade 6, as I said before. With some native speakers in the past, we did some assessments to them to see the level, but it's very specific cases. We normally require the GCSE grade 6, so you have to take the GCSE and get the grade 6. But we did have some specific cases when we have some students. We have some students from Spain, recently came from Spain, where they are completely native speakers, and obviously they speak Spanish like us. They don't need to have a GCSE in Spanish, but some specific cases. Otherwise, you need to get the GCSE and the grade. Yeah, but only for native speakers. Yeah, you don't need to have the GCSE. Any more questions, please? They're really, really interesting. I'm really amazed at all the questions. Are you, Josh and Senor Antonio? I'm really amazed.
Yeah, the level of questions is very good. Very good. Yeah, very relevant questions.
Very, very good. They go, to some specific points.
Josh, do you mind if I put you on the spot again?
Sure thing.
Okay. What is your favorite topic?
That is a really difficult question, to be honest. I think, to be honest, some of the year 2 topics that we're doing now definitely are. I found year 1 really interesting, but it feeds on from a lot of things that we studied at GCSE. And so I really feel that the year 2 topics have taught me much more about Spanish culture and Spanish life. I think that the politics especially have been really, really interesting. It's not something I was never interested in English politics or any other sorts of politics, but as soon as we started studying Spanish politics, something just clicked. And it's really, I think that's it for me. But it is difficult to choose because I love all of them, really.
Year 1, which is your favorite topic when you did year 1 last year?
Probably when we had a look at Spanish traditions and some of the cultural aspects of Spain. I thought studying little bits about the other co-official languages in Spain was also really, really interesting.
Excellent.
Spain has a lot to offer in that respect. It's not only sun and beach, also it's mountains and it's lots of languages, lots of dishes. Oh, more questions.
Okay. Oh, Elizabeth Harris asked us a very interesting question, very, very good one. How many students go on to pursue a career in Spain? Unfortunately, there are not as many as we want. Just only a few students follow some studies in Spain. What is true is that some students have the gap year to make the most of this gap year and spend time in Spain. I have some students at the minute who are working as language assistant in Spain, and I have one student who is childminder Spanish kids, practicing Spanish and teaching them some English, and is really, really very happy with the experience. Very, very good. But unfortunately, we don't have many students that do degrees in Spain at the minute. But what is true also that when you study some degrees in languages, you have 1 year abroad, and then when you are doing the degree here this year abroad, you get some work and also some experience there of the life and the culture, which is really, really fantastic. We had some students in the past who came here to give talks about experience at universities here in the UK, and they told us the excellent experience of being abroad for 1 year when they are doing the degree at university. Really, really impressive experience for you. Okay, Isabel, Emily, another very good question. When you spoke about Spanish politics, is modern politics or more historical? No, really, it's more modern politics. We talk about politics nowadays, the interest of students, young people in politics. We learn politics also, historical politics, and Senor Antonio can tell you about which topic we learn the politics of.
We learn about Frankism and all the age of Franco and what was society under Franco, women under Franco, politics under Franco, repression, and what was life like under Franco. So that's a period of Spain that's more historical, let's say. It's contemporary history. Okay, we don't go into 19th century history or 18th century history. It's contemporary, but it's more historical perspective. Yeah.
And then we go back also to learn about dictatorships in Latin America as well. We learn the dictatorships in some countries such as Argentina, Chile, Costa Rica, Argentina, Chile, Panama. And then we learn a lot of, the past dictatorships and Castro as well. Very interesting topic as well. So students really, really like this part of the topic, and Josh, you will love it when we have it. It's the previous to the last topic in year 2, and it's really amazing.
Yeah. That will be in March, I think, later on.
I'm already excited.
So currently now we are finishing the topic of cyberspace in year 1. And then we will learn in the second topic that is about evolution of family from Franco times to nowadays, and also how the role of women in Spain has changed so much. We also made some references to women in Latin America. And it's really, really interesting in contrast to the cyberspace, that is the first topic we learn. It's fine as well, but I always feel that the students enjoy much better, much more the topic about the evolution of family from Franco to nowadays. Really very interesting.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you for all your questions.
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
It's really very entertaining to answer the questions and to see this interest of all the students.
Fantastic. Gracias.